Hey Al, this is John. I was doing some work on the car and I figured I'd go ahead and grab a video here. This is the MR2 midship runabout. We took the emblems off, the Toyota emblems off, and put the Japanese ones on it. They're released for the Japanese market because it's a little bit cooler. It's got a eagle on there and it says midship runabout. Everybody on the forums, they refer to it as a chicken. I think it's kind of accurate. It's kind of funny. Here's the gauge cluster. Not very exciting, but you got your rev counter right there in the middle, and you've got your speedometer over here, which goes all the way up to 145, which I don't know if the car would do if you put 1,000,000 volts through it, but it'd get there pretty quickly. And it's got a CD player, all that good stuff. The stereo actually sounds pretty good for being stock. And there's a storage cubby right here in the middle. We got some study books there where we keep our CDs and stuff, and some storage behind the seats. There's not a lot of room back there. Trunk releases in the glove compartment. You've got your ashtray and cigarette lighter down there, which are almost never used. Let me see if I can get out of here because I can't open my driver's door because once I jacked it up there was a pole right there. You can see the RC over there all covered in dirt. And let me see if I can climb back out over this thing without hitting the gear shift. Not that it really matters, but because the back wheels are off the ground, probably be a good idea not to. And the interior in this car is in fantastic condition. It's all leather, leather and plastic. Nothing quite like leather and plastic, but the car looks almost new. Aside from having so many miles on it. The top was originally plastic and or vinyl as they call it, and it had holes in it from age, I guess. It is a 12-year-old car, but we went ahead and replaced that with canvas, and it's really nice. It adds a lot of class to the car. Behind the seats here, there used to be plastic doors that came down, and they were just kind of annoying, and you had to go to a lot of trouble to get them. I took them off and replaced them with this duck cloth and snaps, and it's very nice. It makes it look a lot better. It looks kind of classy actually, and except the snaps rattle when I try to record. I've got a little connector here where I can snap my camera up and put the camera right here, but you hear the snaps rattling so loudly. I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to do about that. I'll probably use some silicone in the snaps to take care of that problem. Everything's power in here. Everything came standard power on this car. Here's the front. We have replaced all the shocks in the car with coilovers, and they're all adjustable, which is very nice. We've got some bracing on there. And I did the same thing with the plastic cover here for the tire, especially because we put the bracing in. You couldn't really have the plastic cover on here anymore. And this is the rest of the storage on the car. And that's about it. There's not a lot of storage on this vehicle. Like, I really kind of like the duck cloth. It's waterproof and it looks pretty nice. I need to get some snaps for this hole here and one over here. But we had this hole, actually one over here too, so I need to get 3 of them. We had the whole unit out when I went underneath the car. We replaced all the bushings in the vehicle, which was a royal pain in the butt, but we got it done. Here's the engine. This is a 2ZZGE, which is the same engine in the Lotus Elise. I know it was in the mid-2000s. Some of them had a turbo, or not a turbo, allow me to reiterate, a supercharger. Some of them didn't. I saw one at Autocross the other day that was running just a straight 1ZZ engine. But this is a 2ZZ anyway. It's got about 40 more horsepower than the original engine. We went ahead and, I don't know if you can even see that, we put the Lotus cover on it, so we thought that kind of looked cool. We've got more bracing back here. Same coilovers, of course, in the back. We had to do a custom exhaust manifold, so that's Monkey Wrench Racing. And I had to do a custom intake because the other one didn't move enough air. I wanted to put it behind the battery, but I couldn't manage to find enough room back there for it. Unfortunately, where it is right here, it's sucking up air from the exhaust, or not from the exhaust, but it's hot enough because of the exhaust. And I'll try to figure that out. I had to actually get aluminum tubing and have the connectors for the mass airflow sensor welded on there and everything. We've got that set up. And underneath the car, I've got all the bracing off it. Or actually, I've got this piece of bracing off it, which goes underneath there. It's all aluminum braced under the car. So I could get underneath here. And I was trying to discover this water leak over here, but it doesn't seem to be leaking water now. It's just doing that to irritate me. When I put it up on the jack, about a teaspoonful of water poured out of it, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. It's right here. I just sprayed up here. It's got a hydraulic clutch, 6-speed transmission. It used to be a 5, but when we swapped the engine, we swapped the transmission also. Not much else is really exciting. All the bushings, obviously, well, I don't know if you can see them or not, but all of them have been replaced with polyurethane. And that was a hell of a job, let me tell you, especially in the front. We've got bracing in the middle of the car, bracing on the front of the car. This is probably all upside down right now because I'm upside down right now. So it's almost a new car. The engine, I believe, only has like 50,000 miles on it. And trying to take care of it. I should have, when I did the engine, I should have bought new hoses, but I was cheap. And I think that maybe we're losing water here, but I don't see any at this point. I'm just praying it's not the water pump, because there's so little room to work in here. I might even have to drop the engine again to get to it. And I'm lazy, and that's a lot of work. But considering I don't see any water, this is just a mystery. Yeah, there's more in there. I just don't know where it's coming from. Probably is the water pump. But I don't seem to be losing any. I just don't know. Anyway. We've got a high flow catalytic converter here off, well actually not off anything. It's custom designed for an MR2. Designed by a company called PPE Engineering. And then we have a custom MagnaFlow dual exhaust here, which is set up and not even on both sides. The old exhaust burns the undercarriage here, so I had cut it out, and when they put the new one in, they didn't line this one up the same. But that's alright. At some point or another, I'll go ahead and get it redone. And that's about everything exciting about the car, really. More bracing. It's a pretty good looking car, and I'll try to get some videos driving it because they're a lot more fun than just wandering around. And here's the RC. That's still doing really well. It's a wonderful bike. And I used to have Battle Axe Bridgestones, and I just replaced them with Pilot 2s, Michelin's. And it completely transformed the bike. It made it so much fun now, because now the turning is so much faster and it feels so much stickier. And I'm really glad I got rid of the Battle Axes. And I also went to, I think it was a 520 or a 530 chain, whichever one's the smaller, lighter one. And geared the sprockets down. So it's a lot quicker now, and I'm not stalling out in first gear anymore because it doesn't do anything until you hit 20. The BFR is still doing well. I need to rebuild the forks, I think, because I just discovered yesterday they were leaking. That's going to be a little project. It's not like I don't have plenty of other vehicles in the meantime. And this is Squeaky the van, which gets an entire 16 miles per gallon, but is absolutely wonderful if you need to take anything, including a German Shepherd somewhere. Or a motorcycle. I haven't had to put a bike in it yet, but I know I could. And speaking of dogs, where's the dog? Hey, buddy. Hi, Slacker. This is Slacker the dog. He looks like a very big rat. Sit. He's a very good dog, and I pet him, but I have grease all over my hands. And then he would be sorry. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, sure, good puppy. And he takes care of Emily while I'm at work. And they seem to get along very well. And that's about all the news that's fit to print. And I guess I'll try to get pictures or something, or video or something else more exciting later. But I guess I'm done with the car for now.